reaches out to them and shares with them a positive message, an encouraging word, and giving back to them also gives to me. And so I'm sure you have similar experiences of just being able to be the person that is there when people are struggling, and just to be an encouragement and a support, and to reach out and say, I understand, I'm here for you. And, I think when we go through tough things, we find out who our friends are. And just, I've just tried to strive the last couple of years, even though I was in some tough spots, just trying to reach out and give back. The neat thing is all of the things that I was so involved with years ago, I've actually been asked to come back and help and get involved in some camps again and mentor some people. And things have come full circle, and it feels really good to be able to share my positive experiences and share the things that have helped me get through those tough times, and finding that inner strength, right? What makes us strong, and focus on the positive. And I think this is a great time to bring up that PMA, positive mental attitude. And I think that is so powerful, and surrounding yourself with positive people that are uplifting and supportive and hold you accountable. I think that's all a part of, our calling in working with people, whether that's in treatment or in education or just even in the workforce, is being that person. I have a phrase I use working with kids. It's unconditional positive regard. I feel like I'm the person that's going to be there encouraging them that they can do it, and supporting them along the way. And I don't know, I just feel like my life's work has been a calling, and it all goes back to that moment of when these kids who heard me give my testimony saw me drunk, and I just ruined whatever testimony and credibility I had. And so I think for me, things have come full circle. And so it's an honor and privilege, Mike, to have gotten to know you the last couple of weeks and share our stories and talk about our struggles, and that our lives mirror each other in a lot of ways. And so kindred spirits, if you will. It's really fun to be able to connect and be able to talk with people who understand it and get it, and kind of have that same viewpoint of giving back.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I referenced you as from The Peaceful Warrior, the book by Dan Millman, that you are my modern day Socrates. And, it's just right when you said you were working in a gas station, I was like, this is my Socrates. And so you're my spiritual guidance of that. And so I want to go back to the first time that you used the sources of strength, and where were you when it hit you, or when you used it, and then how did it evolve into like the PMA?
So Sources of Strength is a training I went to, and it just all galvanized. It all made sense. I've always used like the positive experiences. Like I spent a decade working in youth ministry. I had two unbelievable mentors, the youth pastor, Rudy Herr of First Baptist Church in Eugene, and then legendary football coach Marty Johnson, who was the head coach at Sheldon. And both of those guys took me under their wing and mentored me, and just unbelievable people to be around. And in my work through those years, just that's where I learned to build relationships and connections with people by spending time with them and doing events with them, whether that's youth ministry or coaching, and just all of those experiences and those relationships that I had with kids. We went on Mexico mission trips, or taking kids to summer camp, or coaching football. I was really so fortunate and blessed to work with Marty Johnson and be a part of a state championship staff, and just that opportunity for me to work with a guy like that. And I met him when I was working at the gas station, and just attached myself to him, and just working with him and getting an opportunity to coach with him allowed me to go to a different school, get my first job in education as a campus supervisor. And that inspired me to go back to school, and just, I didn't get my degree until it was actually the same week we won the state championship. I earned my degree and then started grad school. And without those two guys, I would have never been able to accomplish the things in my life. It all starts with my sobriety, but then to be mentored by them. So I always use those positive experiences to get me through the tough times. And, I think I've worn out a few videotapes of some special games, watching those. And so I've used all those, but in 2018, I went to a conference sponsored by my school district, and it was this program called Sources of Strength. And it just talked about the wheel and, family support and positive friends and mentor. And it just all clicked for me. And so I had been teaching this class at Crescent Valley, an intervention class for struggling students. And, we would use the wheel and talk about, how to use our sources of strength. And the student I was working with came up with this phrase, PMA, positive mental attitude. And he talked about that. And that, when it comes from a student, I'm always most inspired by students when they come up with things or have some real insight. And we made posters and we put it up, and we always talked about having PMA, positive mental attitude, and always looking for the positive things. And so I think for me, having experienced all of that and then have it all come together in a program like Sources of Strength, and then in a phrase like positive mental attitude, I just, been a coach for a long time, and always being positive is something that you preach, but here's a phrase that defines it all. And it just was galvanizing moment with a student, and that coming from a student, it had more of an impact on the other students. And I just got to sit back and watch it work. And it was pretty amazing and pretty neat to feel like you can be a conduit for some of these kind of happenstances, and that, you can use your story or your ability to relate. And then just, as working with kids just, they want to feel accepted and understood and have somebody believe in them. And